You decide to participate in the study. You head to South Carolina. Describe what it was like when you were given the MDMA, and were you given it in a pill, intravenously, or?
No, in a pill and inside the clinic. So there was a tremendous amount of preparation, psychotherapy preparation, and so the set and setting and the intention was very strongly set. So at the time I got my first MDMA-assisted psychotherapy treatment, I was very prepared, but I'd already had a placebo where it didn't work. So I'd already had this entirely fantastic psychotherapy and then got randomly selected for placebo. So I could say, no, that didn't work. Nothing had changed about me. I got invited back to have the medicine. When that happened, it's a little white pill. I'm in the safety of this clinic. Okay. And then it was like, I some the things I compare it to is like being lit up like a Christmas tree. Like everything in my whole brain felt like it was turned on all at once, which wasn't exactly comfortable. It was like awareness times 200 or more. Another thought process that I had after the fact was like maybe almost like shock treatment because I had a lot of convulsive reaction to it, and my rapid eye movement therapy was fairly off, like just I couldn't control it for hours on end. Like actually, after the treatment, I could barely open my eyes. So I had a kind of a radical experience. Mind you, I think that the dosage given in a clinical setting is pretty high. So people who are comparing it, if they are actually getting a pure drug that's not, I don't think the drugs out there called ecstasy are really probably the same drug because I think
Yeah, that's
it's,
an important thing to mention to a
yeah,
lot of
yeah, I
our
don't,
listeners is that a lot of the stuff being sold on the street as MDMA, sometimes methadone or other chemicals, you don't even know what it is. And so that's wwhy it is extremely dangerous, especially if you don't have a test kit, to just get MDMA at a festival and try it.
yeah, and I think that but that contextualizes why I'm saying, no, I don't think it was a warm, fuzzy experience for me. It was transformative. But I will say it was something like getting acquainted with my very, very best self. I mean, if you picture who you were on your best day, when everything lined up and you were in your zone and you accomplished exactly and you were fantastically focused, and then you times that times 50, that's your state of consciousness. You're at your best self. Then, because you set your intention, you get to turn that best self onto your most damaged self. Wow, the inner healer. That's profound. And I got to see the belief systems that were holding the PTSD in place.
And
Trying to,
what were
yeah.
some of those?
Oh man. I mean, when we're little kids, especially, or just unconscious, our brains just try and explain and fill in the gaps of why this happened. And it can be very unconscious. It could be a global thing. Mankind is doomed and God hates us. I mean, we make these decisions unconsciously to explain traumatic events, especially as children. In my case, I believed that I was unwanted, disposable, unnecessary, that any minute I was going to die, and it was like a cruel game. I mean, there were so many layers of belief structures neurologically wired into me to help explain why I had these traumatic events. Well, I was able to see with the help of the MDMA and the psychotherapy setting that those were just stories I made up. There was no innate meaning to getting hit by a truck. But when you're 11 years old, you start to explain, I just, I was doomed. I wasn't supposed to be born. And I'm always going to have things happen to me until I'm dead. That's what I heard my little child self say. So, of course, she was in there prepared to get hit by a truck every day. And that was just eating away at me. So, this incredibly awake, intelligent, best self got to talk to her and explain a whole lot of things.
And this is all why you're under the influence. As
Oh, yeah.
your brain's lighting up like a Christmas tree, you're kind of stepping outside your body and talking to your former selves.
But I came there to work. I mean, if you just took MDMA, you're going to go, wow, I have some realizations, and they may not actually change you. But with the psychotherapy and the intention and the setting and everything that it's like a rebirth where there's all hands, it's a team, creates a potential, a window of opportunity. And in that, the intention was set, like, I'm going to rewire my brain. I desired that more than anything else. And in some ways, I mean, it's amazing. I think, yeah, you could probably take that drug and say, well, my desire is to forget everything and dance until I drop and fall asleep. Then you're probably going to get that. But if your intention is, I want to completely repair anything in me that's in the way of being my greatest self and making the greatest contribution I can make to that which I care for, then now we're talking. That's a really good reason to utilize this medicine, because if that's what you want, man, you will get that.